This is Talking Bullish, your Bradford Bulls fan podcast. And we're your hosts, Laura Mickelfield and Alan Raisin.
We're going to have a look back at the match against Warrington on a hot sunny day. We're going to look forward to 2 weeks' time when York come to visit. And we're also going to go through some Bulls news before we play a bit of Bull or No Bull.
Yes, we are. Welcome, Laura.
Welcome, Alan.
Thanks very much for tuning into our podcast, Talking Bullish, this week. Yes, as Laura said, we're going to look back at the game we had at Warrington, which I actually missed the first 10 minutes of because I was trying to catch it on Sky Go, and it just wasn't on Sky Go, and so I had to watch it from my phone on the Sky Sports app.
Oh, really? That's funny. Yeah, I've not tried to watch the sport through Sky Go, to be honest. I have tried on the Sky Sports app before, but I've not tried through Sky Go. So, yeah, not possible then.
Didn't look like it. Even the on-demand sports, it wasn't listed under. So, a bit of a disappointment. But, yeah, so I watched it on my phone instead.
Yeah, I got there in the end, yeah. Luckily, I got to watch it on the telly. Didn't get to go to this one, but, watched it live on TV. And, yeah, a bit of a sloppy start to the game. I'd say, but it was 2 minutes in and Gardner is convinced that a knock-on is a ball steal, and straight away we go for captain's challenge, and it's given us a knock-on. It's like we've been saying all season with these, it just seems to be that, you can have your hands all over the ball, you can pull away and steal the ball, the player can be convinced that someone's stolen the ball off them, but it'll still be given as a knock-on. It's a bit frustrating, is this one, because if the player's that convinced that you're 2 minutes into a match that you're willing to use your captain's challenge, they're not going to be lying that it were reefed away. You could see his hand was on the ball and you could see the hand went away, but as is always, it just seems to be a knock-on. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people's views are on this. I know we were saying last time it was one of those where it's like, yes, you can protect the ball and it's up to the player to keep hold of it, but it does seem to be getting a little bit silly now. But anyway, it was what it was. It was a bit error-strewn in the first 10-15 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah, and the other thing I missed was a high tackle from Ock after 5 minutes, which sent him to the sin bin.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Like I say, 5 minutes in and we're already down to 12 players. But in fairness to him, I think he realised straight away it was kind of a bit of a high tackle, and he is a tall player, so it's harder to kind of get lower down the body on the opponent there. Don't think there was any malice in it. He's not that sort of player, but rules are rules, and yes, it was high, and I think it were definitely worthy of 10 minutes, but I know a lot of the Warrington fans seem to be booing in the crowd, hoping it had been a red, but I don't think it were a red. It definitely, like I say, there wasn't intent with it, and I think it was just tall player on shorter player, and he just kind of mistimed his tackle.
Yeah, unfortunate. And then that lets Warrington take the advantage with the extra man, and they go over the try line 4-0.
Yeah, so 4-0 at this point, and 9 minutes in, we got a green card given this time to Aekins, and he had to go off. And we had 2 minutes then of only 11 players on the pitch. It was a bit of a controversial one. We were saying this one. It was strange. I've kind of looked up on the green card because it was one of those things that I wasn't overly sure about, and it seems to be used to deter people from acting like they need to slow things down because they've got an injury. So they're like physically sent off the field by the referee, so they have to have 2 minutes on the sideline, sort their injury out, and get back on. But it kind of just seemed like he were mid-tackle. He came away from it in a little bit of discomfort, and then he were like, right, you're off. And I were a bit baffled, to be honest. Did you see the green card? Or?
No, I think I joined just after that bit. So
it was a bit strange. Apparently, they said afterwards it was to do with him having a dislocated finger. But according to Kurt Haggerty, I think it was that he'd already had the dislocated finger like earlier in the match.
Okay.
So I don't know if it actually happened at that point. And I know it looked like Chris Aekins himself was really confused as to why he was getting sent off for the green card.
Yeah.
If anyone's listening and has more clarity on this, because I was just very confused by the situation, please let me know. And if it's something obviously that has to be enforced. But my thought was, obviously from looking it up, that it's to do with time wasting. And I don't think he was trying to time waste at all. It was really bizarre. I thought it wasn't great really, because then we're 13 players versus 11 for 2 minutes, and it was a costly 2 minutes.
Yes, indeed. Warrington take advantage of the extra 2 men and score. And I actually saw this one, and they converted that as well, taking the score after 11 minutes to 10 points to 0.
Yeah, so 10-0 at this point, and I felt a bit sorry for the Bulls. I thought there was a lot of effort in there. Warrington had a hell of a lot of ball, and we just seemed to not be able to get hold of it, but we were defending, and like I say, with it being a hot day as well. Obviously the first try that they got, we were already down 1 man, and the second try they got, we're down 2. So I did feel a bit for the Bulls at this point, and I thought that the defending were going to take its toll. And then 29 minutes, and Warrington think they're over again, which is given by the ref, and then the video referee takes a look at it, and it's not grounded. However, they do score on the next play anyway, so the no try didn't really matter.
Yeah, take it wide, don't they? And the score right on the corner. Was that the acrobatic one where he was just on the corner flag? I can't quite remember. There was one of those.
There were Ethan Ryan-esque one, wasn't there? Yeah, it might have been that one. I'm not sure, but so unfortunately, they did manage to really put the defence in there to keep him off on the first attempts, but spreading it wide with a man down, you're going to get in. So they were there on the edge, and it was 14-0 at that point.
Yes, because it was so far over that the kick was tricky and they missed it. Yeah. So then it took up to 37 minutes for another score. We had a couple of penalties that helped us up the field. Yeah, I think Warrington really sort of switched off a bit, I think, maybe. But they certainly didn't have the control that they had in the first part of the half. And gave us a couple of penalties. And Jamie Gill powers over and goes under the sticks.
Yeah, that one's converted as well, and that gives us 6 points. Really pleased for Jamie Gill. It was his first Super League try, and I think it was thoroughly deserved. He were doing some really strong carries, I were noticing, and he got up to that try line and kind of flipped over and managed to get the ball down, which was brilliant. So, it was nice to see him score, and I was really pleased with the team effort on this. Like I say, it's 37 minutes. We spent most of the half without the ball, defending hard in hot weather, and to get one back before half time, I were really pleased because how the match went, and if you looked at the statistics, I were thinking that we'd have been kind of whitewashed at that first half, and it was really good to get over for the 6.
Yeah, and then just as the half was about to end, it looked like we were going to score again, didn't it? But unfortunately, there's a call for obstruction from Wacker on the Warrington player when he was jumping up for the ball, and there was a bit of controversy over that one as well, wasn't there? Yeah,
it was one to talk about. I said straight away as the try was given, when it went up to the video ref, I did say I don't think he's going to give this, because I thought at the time as he's taking him out, because I saw the Warrington player going flying, but obviously at full speed you don't really see everything that's going on. And then on the replay, when I looked, I thought they're not going to give it. I could tell they weren't going to give it. But it's one of those where I don't know. You could, the argument that I think that Kurt had when he was kind of relaying what happened there is that his back was facing the player, so therefore you're both looking at the ball and going for the ball, and like Blake did get the ball and then pass it, so he wasn't trying to take the player out, he was trying to go for the ball, but he did have his arm out as well. I think the Warrington player did milk it a bit. I don't think that kind of contact with your arm would make you go flying like he did. But because he went flying and because his arm made contact with him, obviously they gave it as obstruction, but he was really Really disappointing, because if we had got over that and got the kick, we'd have it'd been 2 points. It'd have been a totally different game. And to think of all that, like I say, we're just saying the score before that, all the pressure we absorbed, to think that we'd have been just 2 points behind would have been brilliant, but not to be, unfortunately.
Yeah, and even the commentary team thought, although I think they thought at first it was clearly an obstruction, they seemed to then disagree with the video ref a bit and say that it was harsh on Wacker.
Yeah, I think they were saying it, there wasn't much in it at all. And I think from the replay, like when you saw it fast like I did, I was like, I think he's took someone out. But then when you actually saw it, when you could see the cameras focusing on that, it wasn't as bad as I think there was a bit of play acting from the Warrington player there. So
that takes us to a half time, as we say, 14-6. It was disappointing to have been so far behind so early in the half, I think.
Yeah, one of those again. It seems to be a bit of a pattern against the bigger teams, which it's to be expected as well. Obviously, they're going to come out firing, and to go a few points down in the first 20 minutes or so seems to be like a bit of a pattern that I'm finding. But having said that, there was quite a bit of adversity with this one. Like you say, we'd got the sin bin, we'd got a player off with the green card. So and when you look at the possession and the tackling that went in, it was really in Warrington's favour. So I think that they should have been a lot further ahead than they were. So big credit to the Bulls for keeping in it. And like say, if that try had been given, there could have been 2 points in it at half time. So really good performance. Having said that, there were a lot of errors, there were a lot of scrappy play, but we dug in there.
Yeah, and then the second half started, and after 3 of those minutes, Warrington go down to 12 with Bentley sent for the bin for a chicken wing tackle, which is a new one on me, but the referee seems to describe it quite clearly.
Yeah, it's a nasty one. I don't like it. It's for me, it's a bit of dirty play, and I think he's a bit of he's a player that's renowned for a bit of dirty play. He used to be at Bradford, and people will remember him from playing there, but he was younger at the time. And as his game's progressed, so has some not so good habits, shall we say. It was not a nice tackle. It was purely with intent as well. He'd bent the arm backwards, you could see he had, and then he just put pressure on it as well with his body. And I just think it's like trying to injure someone, and I just don't like it. So I think the 10 minutes was very much warranted for that.
And then despite being man up, we concede another try from Warrington. So it gets to 20 points to 6.
Yeah, so it looks like it's kind of a bit out of our reach at this point. I think the commentators as well were kind of alluding to that, saying the first score in the second half would have been the important one. And unfortunately, even though we were up a player, it went to Warrington. We did nearly fight back at 56 minutes. Wynne had an opportunity, but a good tackle put him into touch. But he came close, so we could have tried to get back in it at that point. And we looked to nearly go over again at 59 minutes, but the pass meant for Blake goes to the Warrington player instead, which was, another one where I'm like, it's like 2 more opportunities as well. But, was not to be. And then 60 minutes, Ashton breaks on the wing and is over for Warrington again. So it's 26-6 at this point.
Yeah, so quite a mountain to climb. And indeed, the team looking tired, obviously, after all that defending they've had to do through the first half and most of the second. But we hang in there as so often we do. And in 68 minutes, we get a brilliant moment from Jaden Nikarima. Evades one, pushing another off, and he goes over.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. It was just like something out of nothing. I think everyone were a bit like, we look a bit lost here and don't know what we're doing. And he obviously saw in front of him thinking, I'll go for this. And yeah, it was just great. Like his feet to evade one and just palmed. I think it was Danny Walker in face, just like get off me, and runs and scores. Which was brilliant. And that was converted. And that took it to 26-12. That actually ended the 26-12 as well. And thoughts on that then, Alan?
Well, I think probably went as well as we expected, to be honest. We played pretty well, lots of defence, as we said. But in the end, we couldn't keep them out. really.
Yeah, it's one of those where, again, we're not far off. I mean, to say we're playing these top teams, we're not far off. If a certain couple of decisions had gone our way, if we'd have got that try before half time, if we'd have not had the sin bin, you kind of think, could things have gone a different way? But we're always hanging in there, and I think I love the resilience of the team to think that, like, say, if you looked at those tackles in the first half, I genuinely thought at like 60 minutes when like Ashton breaks and went over, I thought there's 20 minutes to go here. We're just going to fall apart. It's going to go to whitewash time here. I did genuinely think that, because I thought you wouldn't blame them either, because they'd have been absolutely tired out. It was a red hot day as well. And to think that we held them at 26 at that point for 20 minutes and we in fact scored, I thought was real toughness from the team there. I
suppose so. And the commentators made a big thing about the number of metres gained by Warrington versus how many we gained, and it was so heavily in Warrington's favour. Like you say, they could have scored a ton more than they did, but we kept them out quite well, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think the defensive effort were really good. I know people probably think it was 26-12. How come you're saying that? But I do think it was. It could have been a lot more, and massive performance from Caleb Aekins as well. I think he made at least 3 try-saving tackles in that match, and I know they replayed quite a few of them, and they were saying there could have been 3 more over if it weren't for his fantastic defence this week, and he was more than deservedly voted the hitman of the week as well.
So well done to Aekins for that. And so we got some news this week about the squad. You want to?
Yeah, so speaking of Caleb Aekins and his brilliant performance, so he's topped it off with committing to another year with the Bulls.
Fantastic, yes.
Yeah, then the news had just been announced just before we came on the podcast, so I thought that was brilliant timing for us to talk about it. But yeah, really pleased with that. It's one of those where there's a few players, I think, where people are like, we only had him on a year's deal and I'd like to see it for longer. I'd heard the names about Aekins and about Wynn and about Sutton. We've had Wynn announced, we've had Aekins announced, so we're just waiting for Sutton now, I think. But yeah, I mean, I haven't been through actually and looked at the length of the contracts that people were given at the start of the season. I know we spoke about it before we started, but I couldn't think off the top of my head like who's on for how long. So it might be worth us having a little look at that to see who's actually off contract and who we think would be worth keeping. But the 2 we've announced so far, very pleased with, and really chuffed that Caleb Aekins is on for another year, because it's his first shot in Super League, and I think he's really proving his worth. I think he's brilliant defensively, and he loses a lot in attack as well. I know he's created quite a few breaks down the edges before for some of the tries that he's set up as well. So yeah, brilliant news.
Yeah, so our next match we have to wait another week for. It's against York at home. So one we did circle at the beginning of the season, I think.
Yeah, so interesting. So this is the one where I think when we were actually looking back, we were like, this is one we can win. And we've had quite a tough go of it. We've played like Hull KR, Leeds, Warrington, Saints. Like we've played Wigan, played all the kind of top teams going and stuff. So to think that we're going to get opposition that we're used to and opposition that have come up with us as well, it's it feels like it's more of an even playing field in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah. So just bringing up the form guide, we actually have identical form to York, winning only one of our last 6 games. They won at home against Toulouse, and our last win, obviously, was against Hull at home, Hull FC.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, because I think, like I say, we kind of thought, this is one we can win, and I do definitely think we can win. But I think they will think exactly the same thing. So
yeah, we didn't have a great record last season. Well, let's not forget.
Yeah, definitely not. That's what I mean. Take nothing for granted. It's not like it's a guaranteed win, and they do seem to up the game against us, and I'm sure they'll want to continue that as our Super League rivalry with them continues. But yeah, we've not always had the best of luck against York in the Championship, so it's going to be another tough one. But I feel like it's more of an evenly matched game than the ones that we've seen in the last few weeks where we've suffered the losses.
Yeah, and obviously it's far too early to talk about who might be in the squad because obviously, as I say, we've got an extra week. But are we expecting any returnees from injury?
I think when the way that Kurt were talking, we were expecting a few back. So it sounds like we'll have a stronger squad back. But at the same time, will there be a bit rusty as well? Obviously, we've one, had a week off, and two, these players have been out for a while if they're coming back. It'd be nice to think we've got a pretty strong squad. I think we need a few props back. It's a bit lacking in that area at the minute. But I don't think York have escaped the injury front either. I think they've had a few key players out as well. So let's hope that we both have like pretty strong squads to go against each other, because it's always better to see when you've got two of your first choice squads going head to head.
So I'm going to jump straight into my prediction then for this match. I think it's going to be a nice close one, and I think Bradford will win it 20 points to 18.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, I was thinking something similar myself, but I'm going to go a little bit more high scoring. So I'm going to go 24-20 to the Bulls.
Very good. Yes, I was thinking it's about something in the 20s, but we have been defending quite well recently, so I did think probably we would keep them under 20 points, but we'll have to see. So
yeah, I really hope so. And we do defend better at Odsal as well, so you may be correct there, Alan. But yeah, I feel like it might be one of those we score, you score matches, but we do quite like them, but at the same time it's frustrating.
And looking back at last week, as we said, the final score was 26-12. I predicted it was going to be 30-14, so a little bit out, but not too far. You had a pretty good prediction of 24-12. So I ended up scoring 14, but you won the round again with 15 points, bringing your total to 138, and mine is only at 130.
Oh, well, I thought I'd have scored a bit more than you on that, to be honest, but yeah.
Yes. Obviously, the scoring system is totally weighted in my favour.
I just thought, we're only 2 points off, so I thought I'd have done pretty well. But
I think I was fairly close on the score difference. So anyway,
the difference,
it could probably do with some tweaking, but we'll stick with the outcome we really have for this season at least.
No, it's absolutely fine. I don't think you're weighing it in your favour, Alan, at all, because I'm just usually really rubbish at predicting, so I was just quite happy that I got one quite close to the mark this time.
And with that in mind, with York on the horizon, it brings us to Bull or No Bull, where Laura is presumably going to hit me with 3 statements about the York Knights. Is that right?
Well, maybe I've decided something different, Alan.
I hope not.
No, I've not.
Not that I've done any research, but
it's 3 statements about the York Knights, and with them being familiar foes, you might know the answer to these. I've not gone too hard, so let's see what you think. A few little fact finders. Didn't use AI this week, just a classic old bit of research. So let's see, and some of it is just what I remembered as well. So right, so these are 3 statements. We have: the last time we beat York was in July 2024. Bradford struggle at the LNER Stadium and have not won there since 2021. The largest winning margin was 38 points when York nilled Bradford in 1963.
Oh, they're quite interesting statements, aren't they? Yes. Well, as I said earlier, I think last season wasn't very good for us. I don't remember us beating the Knights, but I know most games were pretty close. So I think that it could be correct that we didn't win. So we haven't won since July 2025, though.
July 2024.
Sorry, July 2024. So the second statement was that we haven't won at the LNER since 2021.
Yeah.
I can't. So obviously those are sort of mutually dependent as well. So definitely I'm feeling confident about the first statement being true. Not quite sure about that one. And then we were nilled in 1961, and that was the biggest margin. I could believe that one. I don't know if you've been on rugby league projects. That's the sort of place you'd find that information. It might have been on there that I got it. I'm not actually sure of the website, but it could be that. I am going to go for the fact that we haven't won at the LNER since 2021 as being the Bulls statement. And
you would be correct.
Yay!
So Bradford do struggle to win at the LNER Stadium, but we have won since 2021, but it was in 2022 when we last won there, so not much better, to be fair.
Okay.
It was only a year out. We last won at LNER in 2022 with the score of 20 points to 16, just for a bit of extra fact for you there. The other two statements are true. Last time we beat York was in July 2024, and it was a score of 36 to 28, and it was at Odsal. And the largest winning margin was 38 points, and that's when York nilled Bradford in 1963.
Well, let's hope for a good scoreline this next match week. And it's fortunate that they're coming to us, perhaps. But yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got more luck at Odsal than we have at the York Stadium. So let's hope for a win. And it'll be nearly 2 years since we last beat York. So let's really hope that this is the time to do it. So yeah. Fingers crossed.
Let's not forget that we've got a special,
top
big
class
name,
DJ.
Yeah, big name DJ who we're not quite sure of his name, but I'm sure he'll be really good. So make sure you come down to Odsal to see that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the meantime, we've obviously got a week off, so you'll probably get a week off from listening to us as well. We hope you still are enjoying listening, and thank you to everyone who is tuning in. And as always, please do comment. Get in touch for things that we talk about on here, even if it's to tell us that we're saying something wrong, because I'm more than happy to be corrected. Please do get involved, and thank you for everyone who keeps tuning in every week.
Yeah, check out our website, talkingbullish.fm. I nearly made some updates at the weekend, but didn't quite get them finished. And obviously, drop your score predictions in the comments so that we can see what you think about the upcoming matches. And so until next Friday, keep running with the Bulls. And let's make lots of noise at Odsal. Make sure the Bulls win against the Knights.
And to anyone actually watching the rugby next week and going down for the Challenge Cup final, enjoy that one too, even though it's not Bulls related, but it is rugby related. So hope you enjoy that one and get some nice weather.